So we are going to start from verse number 19. So Yudhishthira has questioned certain things, right? 6 questions have been given or asked by Yudhishthira to Bhishmacharya, and Bhishmacharya started answering. What was a beautiful statement where he started with Jagat Prabham Devadevam Anantam Purushottamam. So that is the first statement, what he gave, a beautiful statement to Yudhishthira, to the Dharma, to understand the nature of that Brahman. And from the verse number 16, he is trying to give the nature of that supreme, okay, that supreme, that higher energy, the higher spiritual energy, or we can say in the higher level, it is the supreme consciousness, what he is talking about. It's a beautiful definition where you can go with the verse number 16. Paramamyo mahat tejaha, paramamyo mahat tapaha, paramamyo mahat brahmaha, paramam yah parayanam. It's a beautiful way of defining that supreme consciousness. So what is that supreme consciousness? It is mahat tejaha. Mahat means, as I say, brahmanda. It's big. So you cannot comprehend with your measurements what I am talking about. The dimension is multifaceted dimensions, what we are telling. So paramaha, paramamyo mahat tejaha. So that tejas you cannot go and compare. That radiant, resplendent way, that the rays which emanate from it. So when you say there is an the luminous body which is available, sun, moon, all these things, I would say they are dim in front of him. Right? Adi Shankara in a slokam in the Saundarya Lagari, beautiful slokam, in a Saundarya Lagari where he talks about Devi. So when he describes about the Devi, excellently he has given. That is a prolific literature which is written by Adi Shankara. Beautiful verses. At the end, at the last, at the 100th sloka, what he says, Mother, the words what I have given, the words what I have tried to describe you is like I am showing a camphor in front of a Surya. What light a camphor can do in front of Surya Bhagavan? Surya is himself a big radiant star. So what type of a light or what type of a brightness can this camphor can do? The justification that camphor can do in front of it? Nothing. But still, it is only for our Manash Atma Tripti that we want to show it to the Surya Bhagavan so that we do the Namaskara. Especially in the Makar Sankranti, we do that. Right? In the Makar Sankranti period, we are trying to do that. So what is the idea is here, whatever you have given, I'm just giving you as a torchlight. Like you are showing a torchlight to the Surya. What is the way that you can go with that? Nothing. So same way here, when you compare the biggest radiant races where you're talking about, the biggest luminous races, luminous body what we have, the biggest body what we have, in front of which we cannot even compare the sun or a moon or the stars and the luminous stars in front of him. That's why it says, Paramamyo Mahat Tejaha. Beautiful words. This slokam is defining about the supreme consciousness. Paramamyo Mahat Tejaha, Paramamyo Mahat Tapaha. So because of his tapas, the entire world is in its order. Because of his tapas means that is the order by which this world is running. Okay, without that the greatest, the control, without that power of control, there is nothing what is going to happen. So that is the definition what Bhishmacharya is giving about the supreme consciousness. So he's talking about from the verse 16 and also 17th verse, where he talks about the purified form. Pavitranam pavitramya. So when you say there is something very pure, this is more purest form. You can't even define it. It can be superlative degree of a purest form. So purified. Mangalanancha mangala. When you talk about auspiciousness, it is austerity, it is more pure, more of that superlative degree. Devatam devadanancha, that who has been even prayed, the devotion done by even the devas. So they also pray to him. Every day they seek his blessings. Devatam Devadanancha. For him himself, they are also the divine. Because that's why whenever there is something happens, the Devatas all run to Vishnumurti seeking his appearance as avatara into the world. Am I right? Whenever there is a calamities, these devatas run to whom? They run to this Vishnumurti seeking us. That's how the Ramayana also says, these devas all run to the Vishnumurti seeking that Ravaneshwara is doing so much of. So you need to come and you have to do something. So then he declares that I am going to take birth, I am going to be born as a son to Dasharatha, and I will do. So it is something that they are seeking. That means even for the refuge of the Deva, there is a God who is there. The supreme of all, even for the Devas, the supreme deity who is there is the Vishnumurti. So that's why I say, Devatam Devadanancha Bhutanam Yogyapita. Yata Sarvani Bhutani, for the every Bhutas, for every human living creatures, he is the only God. Bhavantyati Yukhakam. So he is the person who is going to be in this for the current world also. For the current world also, he is the only refuge for us. And also at the Yuga Pralaya is going to happen, the end, the destruction of the world, the destruction of the entire universe is going to happen. Even in that incident, he is the only place where everyone is going to surrender. That's what in the 16, 17, 18 verses have been done. So now in the verse number 19, what we are talking about, Tasya Loha Pradhanasya Jagannadasya Bhupate Vishnor Nama Sahasram Me Shrunu Papa Bhayabham. Tasya Loha Pradhanasya. Pradhanaha means he is the primary. He is the primary. Primary for what? Primary for the world. Primary for all the world. So Lokaha. So all the lokas are there and he is the primary for all the lokas. Tasya Loka Pradhanasya. He is the primary person for all the world. So, and who is he? He is Jagannadasya Bhupate. Jagannatha. Jagat means he is about all the expanding universe, whatever the universe you are talking about. He is in this expanding universe and he is the leader for this expanding universe. That's why he is called Jagannatha. The word Jagannatha means he is the leader for this expanding universe. The leader for expanding universe. Janardana, Jagannatha, all these things will connote the same meaning. Jagannathasya Bhupate. Bhuhu is the world where we are living. So Bhuloham is what we always refer to. The Bhuloham means the earth, the where we are all, the planet, all the Milky Ways and everything what we surrounded is all we talk about Bhuloha. So even for this place where we are living, he is the Pati. Bhupate. Pati he means he is the controller. Bhupate. Vishnor Nama Sahasram Me Shrunu Papa Bhayabham. So, all this greatness attributed what he was talking about, Paramamya Mahatteja, all this, Pavitranam Pavitramya, Tashaloha Pradhanasya, all these attributes to whom he is talking about the Vishnumurti. Vishnor Nama Sahasram Me. It is about the Vishnu's all 1,000 names. So what is the best benefit out of it? The best benefit is Shrunu Papa Bhayabham. Shrunuhu, Shrunti means you listen. Just by mere listening, what happens? It will get rid of your Papa and Bhaya. These are the two major things, major catastrophic sins which always creates all the other troubles, all the other problems for us. One is Bhaya, another one is Papa. So the Papa, which is due to our act, and Bhaya, due to the fear, we do certain things. Okay, so to get rid of that, we do something wrong because our intellect is totally gone because of Bhaya. And also we create some papas. So these two has to be gone out. These to be has to be balanced, or it has to be worn out. So what is the best way that we can go for? Shrunu Papa Bhayabham. What is that? Vishnur Nama Sahasram name. Listen to the Vishnu Nama Sahasram. That 1,000 names, what I am going to chant, that's what Bhishma says, what I am going to narrate, what I am going to say, what I am going to give it to you. Are Yudhishthira, listen to this. At least by listening, what happens? Your bhaya or in your papa thinking of that, the very fundamental thought of these two things will vanish. So this is the beautiful statement which gives you a more positive vibration for everyone, including the Yudhishthira who is getting that statement from him. Right? So once he gets that, because he is fearing, right? So because after the war, he's meeting him. So after the war, he is trying to meet him. So he's not settled. His mind is still having a lot of confusions. He's thinking, oh, I have waged war, I have killed my own kith and kins. So this is now, it's in the mind of Dharma, who is Yudhishthira. So now his mind needs to be settled. So that's why he says, I'm going to chant this 1,000 names now. So what are you going to do? Hear that. By hearing it, at least you will get out of this papa and bhaya. What is very, very important. Okay. So now comes the 20th verse. So where the 20th verse is, Yani namani gaunani vigyātyāni mahatmanaha rishibihi parigītāni tāni vakshāmi bhūtaye. Yani namani gaunani vigyātyāni mahatmanaha rishibihi parigītāni tāni vakshāmi bhūtaye. What is that? So that great names of 1,000. And as I already told you, the 1,000 name is not just, it's just a number. 1,000 is just a number. Why? Because you cannot restrict the names of the Lord within just 1,000. But these are all the popular names, or these are all the extra beneficial names being chanted by big rishis. How do I know? This is what the statement given by even the Bhishma. Why he says, Rishibihi parigitani. Beautiful word. So what the Bhishma is saying here, it's not me who has given this. Who am I? I'm just putting my own words here. No, these are being chanted by the rishis who have got the benefit. Even they have taken one nama and they have done the chanting and they have got the beautiful benefit out of it. Just chanting Rama, just not even knowing that is Rama to be chanted, by seeing a tree, that Narada says the tree, what is the name, what to be given, the hunter doesn't know how to pronounce it. So the Narada says, what is the tree? He says Mara, so go with that Mara. So he started chanting Mara, 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 Mara. So that name changed into Rama. Then the Rama has graced the Valmiki by just Nama Japam, by the Rama's name, the just person who is by name Ratnagar, who was a dacoitry person by his profession, has totally changed into Valmiki. So this is the real transcendence what you need to talk. If you need to talk about the benefit of transcendental meditation or anything, this is the real transformation, the real transcendence which has happened. What? By just spear name, because he was just going inside deep into that Nama, and the Nama made all the transcendence and made all the transformation. So he was much more, when he comes out, he is nothing but the Maharishi Valmiki. So how? That's just the name. So just a Rama Nama has changed. So then you can understand there are 1,000 names. So our life is not enough to take each name to do the japa. And also, we also don't have time to do the japa, right? So because even though we have those 1,000 names in front of us, our mind doesn't go into it. So that's the problem what we are also facing. So that's why we have to go with the benefits, we'll go with the great saints who have given these words to us. So that's why he says, Yani Namani Gaunani. So these are the greatest names. And all these names are given with greatest personality characters. That's what we are going to see. All the 1,000 names have got beautiful characters, personalities being given, been described. So Yani, Namani, these words, these namas, Gaunani, excellent with gunas. What are all the gunas we say? There are Ananta Koti gunas, excellent gunas, Kalyana gunas. The Kalyana gunas of the God. All right. So we cannot describe. There is nothing but you have to put commas, and then keep on writing his gunas. Because there is no end of it. Everything is Kalyana guna. Kalyana guna means I'm talking about the good personalities, good attitude. Right? You can list many things in your thing, whatever you want to see. All these are exhibiting the excellent gunas of the God, the characters of the God. So that's what he says. Yani namani gaunani. Gaunaha. That's where that has come as guna. Yani namani gaunani vijñāthani mahatmanah. So they have a beautiful impact in the world, because it is also in the world practice that these names are being used. These names are being chanted as a practice. Okay, these names are being chanted by many of the people, many Mahans, many Rishis, many saints. Especially the words like Govinda. So everyone know about this word, Govinda, Krishna, Madhusudana, Narasimha, Achyuta, Janardana, Ananta, right? Keshava. All these are excellent words. These are excellent gunas which are coming out of this Vishnu. So that means it has a beautiful vibration with gunas. And also it is giving you that these are all the words which are being chanted by all the rishis. That's what it says. Vijñāthani mahatmanah. So this is not just me who is reciting these words, or it's not me who is telling all these names. These have been already recited in practice. So that's what he says. Rishibihi parigitani. So whoever, the rishis who have told these namas, who has done the japas with these namas, who has really attained transformation in their life by just chanting on these namas, we can understand Rishibihi parigitani tani vakshami bhutaye. That's what I am going to give it to you. What a grace that Bhishma had. What a gratitude that Bhishma had towards Dharma or Yudhishthira, we can say. Excellent. Right? So he wants to give that because it's not for the Yudhishthira this is given. Remember, not like because the characters of the Mahabharata, it's not to depict that Yudhishthira is a fool and he's going there and he's asking. No, the situation is created for every human being to understand. If you are under certain confusion, if you are under certain problem, if you don't have a peace of mind, though you have getting some of the enlightenment through some other people, but still there is supreme consciousness where you need to go and touch that divinity, that personality, that guna which you need to imbibe. That is through the Sahasranama what you need to get. That is what the Bhishmacharya trying to give to us through so through the Bhishmacharya, Vyasacharya wants to give it to us. So it is really the Vyasacharya who has very, 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 very graciously he has blessed us with all these greatest namas so that we imbibe those characters. We try to get those characters. We try to get into that character, right? So you chant on Rama. Sometimes what happens, you get to these characters of Rama and you try to become Rama. So that is the reality. That is the reality. Vibration means transformation means what? You transform yourself into that character. You say Krishna, 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 you get into that knowledge level of Krishna. Not that of that way of doing it. That you may question, because I'm still with the same body, how can I be a Krishna? No, you get into that knowledge, that jnana of Krishna, that wisdom of Krishna. You imbibe that into it. You get that gunas. That's why I always tell you, we are looking at the Bhagavan not as a physical form. We are looking at the gunas of the Bhagavan. So we are trying to get those gunas into us. So it is only by the gunas, conceptually looking at the gunas, and we try to imbibe. What is the greatest guna? What the God is going to give it to us? Sattva guna is the stability what we need for any of the things. So Sattva guna is most primarily needed for us to run the show. So that is what we are trying to get. So the entire 1,000 namas which have been chanted by the rishis have been given to us, delivered to us through Bhishmacharya. So that's what he says, Yani namani gaunani vijñātāni mahatmanah rishibihi parigītāni tāni vakshāmi bhūtaye. Now comes how the other things have been, now the up to the Parayana. So now he is going to give you the introduction, how the stanzas, how he is going to coin this, what is the way that is been written, and how, who is the rishi, and all those things he is going to say. All right. So now he's directly hitting into the Vishnu Sahasranamam way it has been written. So we will see what are all the details he is giving on the verse number 21. Rishir Namnam Sahasrasya Vedhavyaso Mahamunihi. So this is the place where Bhishmacharya opens it out to the audience, okay, as a statement saying that from where he gets the source, who is the person behind this? Rishir Namnam Sahasrasya. This 1,000 names have been collected, and who has made it as a gem to us, and who has made it as a necklace, or who has made it as an ornament, and who is presenting us is nothing but Vedhavyaso Bhagavan Rishi. This is Vedavyasa, who is the Mahamuni, who is giving us this. Okay, he is coining all these 1,000 names and giving to us. And how he is giving this is very important. Chando anushtup tatha devo. Chando anushtup. See, any lyrics, if you want to write, you need a meter. Okay, you need a meter to write. So you have to have certain meters in writing. So anushtup is one of the chandas what we have. Chandas is a meter, the length of the words and all those things. All right. So that is one of the words. So there is a Gayatri chandas. There is one thing called Gayatri chandas. So Gayatri, when you see the Gayatri's mantra, it is 24 letters. There are two difference in Gayatri. So one is called Nishrut Gayatri, another one is an ordinary Gayatri. Nishrut Gayatri means 23 because there is one syllable which is a little bit silent there when you say that. And then it comes at a Nishrut Gayatri, and which is 23 words. Another one is 24 letters, 23 letters. Okay, so that's about the Gayatri. So whenever they say Gayatri Chandas, that means they are using 24 words or 24 arrangements in that. Anushtup will go 32, like it will go like that. Okay, so that is how the arrangement will be there. So they have a meter in which there are so many meters. I'm just giving you some example. There are so many meters which is beyond, because it will be an entire grammar subject in Sanskrit to talk about. So there are so many combinations are also there. All right. So and then they have given Ushnik Chandas is there. So many different chandas are there. So that is itself is a grammar. Okay. So basically it's a grammar. So chandas is basically meter is a grammar for us. Okay. So how you want to write, how you want to present. So it is like meter in which he is presenting this beautiful slokam to us. So it is called Anushtup. Most of the slokas will go with the Anushtup chandas. It is easy, and then easy breaking it so that you can break and read it. Okay. Anushtup chandas. Tata Devo Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha. And then when you say, see, three things, right? So always we say that Rishi, Devata, Chandas. Am I right? This is 3-in-1 structure. We say Rishi, Devata, Chandas. Three main bodies or main objects should be there. One is called Rishi, who is the person who is writing. Devata, what is the main deity to whom you are going to devote this entire sloka? Chandas, in what meter you are going to sing it, or in what meter you are arranging it. So Rishi is Veda Vyasa, Chandas is the meter, and who is the Devata? Who is Bhagavan? Who is the Bhagavan we are talking about? Devaki Sutaha. This is a beautiful understanding for us. Though we have Vishnu Murti, though we have Narayana, though we have so many, but why there is a stress for Devaki Sutaha? Devaki Sutaha means is talking about Krishna, right? It is emphatically about Krishna. Devaki Sutaha means he's the son of Devaki. So that means what? Who is son of Devaki? Devaki Sutta Govinda Vasudeva Jagatpate. So who is the person? Who is Krishna? So it is very emphatically saying that this Sahasranama, Bhagavan is Krishna. Correct? So that means it is more devoted towards that Krishna avatar. Why Krishna avatara? Because remember, there are two Paripurna avatars what we have in the Dashavatara. So Rama and Krishna are the two Paripurna avatars we have. Purna avatara. Right? Why we call it as a Purna avatara? They lived the entirety into this into their regime, and then they went back to the Vaikunta. Correct? And then they gave good instructions, good morals to the life. And of course, comparing to Rama and Krishna, there is totally two different entities what we are talking about. Rama spoke little, but his actions are what it has been spoken. All right, his actions are more rather than his words. But Krishna spoke a lot through Bhagavad Gita, to so many teachings and preachings he did. So through that, so there are two things what happens. That's why one of the greatest the greatest commentator who always talks about that, he says Narayana, before preaching, he played a role model as Rama. So he played a role model as a Rama, and then he showed how we need to live as Ram, how to lead our life, and how to be that. And then that's what he has preached as in Krishna. So that is how the link what they are talking about. So the Rama and Krishna, so the link is like that. So Rama is the role what he has lived, and what Krishna was preaching, based on that role model he is talking. Because you should not question him, right? So tomorrow some person will ask, when we say live like this, live like an honest person, you can always ask him, how do you say that? Can you live like that? So now he has already a role model who has already lived. So he has someone to pinpoint, right? So Krishna has already lived as Rama, and he showed his entirety there. That's what is narrated by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita and everywhere. Chitta Prajna and all those references in Bhagavad Gita is all from Rama's side, from the Rama's nature. So that's what we say Krishna as the Devaki Sutaha. So he is the God who has been referred in the Sahasranama as the deity, prime deity for us. Amritam Shudbhavo Bhanuriti Bijam Shaktir Devaki Nandanaha Trisama Hridayam Tasya Sankyarte Viniyujjate. Amritam Shudbhavaha is the Bijam. Amritam Shudbhavo Bijam. So what does Bijam means? Bijam is the seed. It's a seed. It's a nama. It's a seed. So every deity has certain seed root or a seed mantra. We say that is it is striking with that Mula mantra. Okay, so Ganapati has certain namas where you have to strike with that. It is a seed of that. Subramanya has some seed. All right. So we do have the Mula mantras. We do have certain names which are very seed or core for it. And what is very core for Krishna here? Amritam Sudbhavaha. Amritam Sudbhavaha. Amritam means who gives you the immortality. So see, the beauty of this name is bestowing you the immortality. Amritam Sudbhavaha is the name, the Bijam. Bijam is what we call it as seed. Devaki Nandanaha. Amritam Sudbhavo Bijam. Shaktir Devaki Nandana. Okay? Shakti, what is the Shakti what you are going to get? Devaki Nandana. Devaki Nandana is the word. By chanting that, you will get the Shakti. The energy what you need to get is through that form you are going to gain. So what is the bijam? What is the seed? What is the root of the Krishna? Amrudan Sudbhava. So that's the nama. And what is the nama? What is going to give? Shakti Devaki Nandana. Trisama Hridayam Tasya Sankyarte Viniyujjate. Trisamaha means that is the nama which we are going to think in the Hridaya. When you chant mantras, there is also another way of looking at this way of talking about the Bijam, Hridayam, Shakti and all. When we do a mantra japa, okay, so there is one technique what we always say, especially in the Sri Vidya Markam and all, and also in every mantras what we are talking. When you are doing a Moola Mantra Japam, okay, so when you have been given with the Moola Mantra Japam, you will do something called Anganyasam Karanyasam. Okay. Anganyasam Karanyasam. What is that? Anganyasaha Karanyasa. Nyasa means cleansing. So we know cleansing through herbal decoctions and all. We know cleansing through oil. Are Baba, you are doing cleansing outside. What is the cleansing remedy for you for inside? Though you drink herbal and all, if your manasikam, your mind is not cleansed, your purification of mind is not happened, and what is the process of cleansing is going to happen, right? So this mantra, some of these mantras, when you do japa, they will ask us to do a cleansing process by even touching the parts of the body and invoke that energy into that place. Okay? Invoke that energy into that place. So how do we do that? Especially when you say that Rishi, you have to touch your front head. Okay? The front head. So that is where you are going to say, because the Rishi means the Guru and Rishis are here, and we imagine that the Rishi Veda Vyasa is blessing us. And when you say about Chandas, you close, because we are supposed to not touch the mouth, because whenever you utter a mantra, you're not supposed to, touch the saliva of your mouth or anything. So we will just close like that. So that means because Chandas comes from here, because it is through that meter you're going to utter that mantra. So we are trying to say that is going to be purified. Anushtup Chandas. Correct? And then we are talking about other. And when we say that the Devata, we always touch the Hridaya when we say that, because Devata is residing here in the Hridaya. Okay? Devaki Nandanaha, Devaki Sutaha, who is here in the Hridaya. And the same way what we do also for the Bijam, also for the Hridayam, and also for the other, so Kilakam or whatever we are having here. All right? So we will also invoke that deity into our body. So what we do, so this is the way that we say Bijam, Hridayam, Shakti. So we'll touch this shoulder, then touch the Hridaya, touch here, the other side of the shoulder. So that means what? We are invoking that Lord Nama into our body. So what he is going to do? He is going to come into us. So basically we are invoking that God through the mantra, so that the mantra can cleanse our internally everything. So that is why we go with this nyasa. So this is one of the nyasa technique, what is being done. So this is basically how we are trying to invoke that Lord. So what happens is, you are not thinking that Lord is outside. We are invoking the Lord into our body itself. So physically our body becomes that Lord. So this is way that what we are understanding from the nyasa. So Amurdam Sudbhavo Bhanuruti Bijam Devaki Nandana Shaktir Devaki Nandanaga Trasama Kritayantasya Santyarte Viniyujjate. So when we say that, Santyarte Viniyujjate, let him go into me. So to give me that peace, Santyate, Santi, he means peace. Let him give that, bestow that peace to me. Santyarte Viniyujjate. Right? So this is how we are invoking that Lord. So we are touching the head when we say Rishi, when we say Chandas, you can touch your mouth. Don't touch the mouth. Maybe you can touch like in the nose, tip of the nose. And then Hridaya is here. When you're saying that the Lord is residing in the Hridaya. Okay? Bijam, Hridayam, Shakti. So this shoulder, center of the heart, and then this shoulder. So 3 for your parayana. So what happens? You invoke that Lord, and then lastly you say, as if you bring the both hands, say that you invoke him throughout your body. So now you understand how the mantras do that vibration, because when you invoke it, so personally what you are doing, we are trying to bring that vibration into our body physically. So vibrations, positive vibrations, and the mantra vibration, that vibrational resonance resonates into your body and creates that positive vibe what we need. So this is what has been given, so that in the Parayana stage we will do it. So Amradam Sudbhavo Bijam Saktir Devaki Nandanaha Trisama Hridayantasya Santyarte Viniyujjate. Now he says in the verse number 22, Vishnum Jishnum Mahavishnum Prabhavishnum Maheshwaram Anekarupa Deityantam Namami Purushottamam. So Vishnum, Jishnum Mahavishnum. He is Jishnu, who means one who cannot be conquered. Vishnu means here he is talking about he is universally everywhere, omnipresent. So Vishnum, Jishnu, Mahavishnu. So he is the Mahavishnu. Prabhavishnum Maheshwaram. He is Mahaishwara, who is the Lord of this universe. So all these characters are about his lordship, his leadership, what we are talking about. So he is omnipresent. He cannot be conquered. He is one who is the great and who is going to be the leader and who leads us. All these are the characters what has been defined. All are his personality, attitude. So all this way that he is projecting himself, that's what he says, Aneka Rupa Deityantam. It is not one Rupa what you are going to see here. So this is one thing, is a fantastic one, which reminds me about in Sanatana Dharma. Probably some of you might know that, but still it is worth repeating this point, an incident which has happened. In Sanatana Dharma, this is one point always asked or always questioned or queried, talking about different forms of God. We always have this question. Oh, that means in Hinduism we have, in Sanatana Dharma we have different forms of the God. So the reality is, the rishis are saying, Brahman Okate. That means there is only one Brahman. But it is projecting itself in different forms. Simple way. So how do we understand this? See, what happened once, I still remember Swami Dayananda Saraswati, when he went for a conference or someplace, and it was a religious conference where all the other religious people were also sitting, and then they were talking about, debating about the gods and the forms and everything. Because it's worth noting about, right? So everyone is arguing about Sanatana Dharma because they are thinking that it is very old to be followed, very old religion, very conventional religions to be followed. They have very old practices which need to be, thrown away, and then new concepts need to come, new dimension of God need to become, and all these modern thinkers are talking about it. And then in one way, one person started telling, you see, in our modern trend of religion, we have one God. All right, we have one God. And in Hinduism, this is where the problem is, because you guys are still in the old thought. You say snake is a god, Elephant is a god, monkey is a god, right? Tree is a god. So question came to Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Why you are having so many forms of gods? Swami Dayananda Saraswati gave a beautiful answer in a very short and brief statement. He said, you have one God. He said about that, whatever religion you're talking about, you have one God. Dayananda Saraswati said, we see only God. So the statement is very powerful here. What is it? You have one God, we see only God. So for us, everything is the expression of a God. That's why you can go into a Tirupati temple and see that if you think it's a stone, but it's not a stone, that is a deity there. We pray and come out. You may ask that it's a stone. Why are you praying to the stone? No, because we see only God. Stone is an expression of God also for us. It doesn't matter that the stone need to be carved, the stone need to be having a form, stone need to be like that. That's why in gramas and on village, the grama deities and all, there is just a pinnacle. What we say in Tamil, we say pinnacle. That means just a stone which has been engraved or which has been stumped into the sand. Even you pray as a God. Because for us, everything is God. Only God, what we see. It doesn't matter. We don't need it should be having a rupam there. So that means what? All these rupas, what you're seeing in this world, that is all the expression of that one Parabrahma. Who is that Parabrahma? What is the nature of that Parabrahma? Aneka Rupa Daityantam. That is the Vishnumurti. Aneka Rupa Daityantam. So he's not only one Rupa where the expression of the Rupa is there. Aneka Rupa Daityantam. Namami Purushottamam. So to that Purushottama, we are just devoted. So this is the beautiful verses where he is talking about, he is giving the narration of that excellent characters here, right? So it is very, very great verses what Bhishmacharya, like basically Veda Vyasa is telling all the statements through Bhishmacharya. All right, so through Bhishmacharya, starting from verses number 16, as I told you, from Paramamyo Mahattejaha. So he's describing the greatness of that Supreme Lord. He's describing the greatness of that Supreme Consciousness. What we can't define in the words. See, some of the things you can't comprehend through the words. But still, yet, there is an attempt to what we are trying to say. That's why we say, even Swami Chinmayananda says, it is when you talk about a form, right? When you talk about a form, he gives a beautiful anecdote. Say, for example, a stranger comes, okay? It's a street. Supposing you imagine you are in a street. Maybe a stranger comes. So in a street where where Rakesh house is there. So I want to tell him, so he's asking me, do you know where Rakesh lives? Which number? So number and all, don't worry. So supposing, I just need to tell him that, that house where Rakesh lives. Now, how do I say? I give with some form, I give with some symbol or something like a landmark or some identification for him. Supposing the person is asking me, where is Rakesh house? I see there, a cat is sitting on the wall of the Rakesh house. I say, see here, can you see that there is a cat which is sitting on the wall? That is the house of Rakesh. You got it? So when next day when the person comes, he's not going to find out where the cat is. You understand? So you should go directly to the Rakesh house because you should know now where the Rakesh is. Now, what is the purpose of the cat here? What is the purpose of a cat here? It is just an identification. The forms, that is what Swami Chinmayananda says, the forms like cat, like Vinayaka, that Subramanya, all these are just a purpose of identification for the entire house. So whatever the identification you are talking about is just an identification to lead you to that God, to that Supreme. That Supreme cannot be defined because it doesn't have any way of that definition you cannot comprehend. So that is basically why we say Vishnu has Aneka Murti, Vishnu is Aneka Rupaha. All these are beautifully explained by Vedavyasa through Bhishmacharya, and that is what the beautiful literature what we are having in our hand to enjoy that. So that's the beauty of Sahasranama. So yadakshara pada prashtam matra hinam tu yad bhavet tapsharvam shamyadadheva narayana namostute visharghabindu matrani padabhadaksharani cha न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि चम्यस्य महेश्वरः अन्यदाचरणं नास्ति त्वमेव चरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष जनार्दन हरि ओम तत्सत् इति श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्य परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषां को ब्राह्मणेभ्य शुभमस्तु नित्यं समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु जय साईराम।